Hey, 8th graders. Today we're doing Module 4, the problem set for Lesson 21. Once again, we're taking our graph and we're going to write the equation for it. And today we want to just do it in slope-intercept form. We don't have to worry about going to the standard form. So normally in slope-intercept form, we need to know the slope and we need to know the y-intercept. The problem today is we aren't given the exact y-intercept. We know that here our y-intercept is between 0 and -1, but exactly where, we don't know. We would be guessing. Maybe -0.25, maybe -0.3, maybe -0.4. We're not exactly positive where this is. So we're going to use what we call the point slope. If we can know the slope and we know just one point, then we can do the point slope equation. So point slope tells us that y minus y1, which means our y coordinate, equals m times x minus our x coordinate. Looks kind of complicated, but we're going to simplify it. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to rewrite this, but instead of putting these in, I'm just going to put empty spaces. So it's going to be y minus whatever our y coordinate is equals our slope. We got to figure that out. Times x minus our x coordinate. And we're going to fill in these blank spots. So let's start. Do we know a point? Well, we can pick this point or this. Let's do this point here. So the coordinates for this point are 2, -2, right? So for our x coordinate here, we'd put in 2. For our y coordinate here, we'd put in -2. Now we need to find out our slope. Well, let's pick another point where it's at an intersection here. And let's find our slope. We got to do our rise over our run. It's going to be a negative. So it's a -1, 2, 3, 4, -4. 1, 2, 3, -4 over 2, 3, 4, 5. So our slope, m, is going to be 4/5. So we're going to put 4/5 here for m. And here, that's how you do point slope form. So we have y minus a -2. Remember, subtracting a negative is the same as adding, right? So we're going to have y plus 2 equals 4/5 x minus 2. Now we have to do the distributive property. So we end up with y plus 2 equals 4/5 x minus 4/5 times 2. Put that over 1 and we get 8/5. Okay. Now we need to take, because we want slope-intercept form, so we want y to be by itself, so we have to add 2 to both sides. So we're going to add 2 here plus 2 here. So we end up with y equals 4/5 x. Now we have a -8/5 plus 2. -8/5. And 2 is 2 over 1, but we want 5 as the denominator. So 2 is the same as 10 over 5, right? 10 divided by 5 would be 2. So 8/5, a -8/5 and a positive 10/5 would give us a 2/5. And there's our slope-intercept form. I know this is different than the way they do it in the video, but I find that this way is easier and we get to the same answer. So once again, here's another problem. So we have to go y minus our y coordinate is going to equal m times x minus our x coordinate. So let's fill in these numbers. Let's start with a point. Let's take this point here. So this point is -5 and 3. So -5 is our x. So -5 is going to go here. 3 is our y. So 3 is going to go here. Then what's our slope? Well, let's count. We have got this point. We have a rise of 1, 2, 3, and a run of 1. M equals 3 over 1, or 3. So we're going to put 3 in here. Now that we have this all written up, we can change it to slope-intercept form. By simplifying it, we have y minus 3 equals 3 times x minus the -5 is plus 5. Do our distributive property. Y minus 3 equals 3x plus 15. Got to take this -3 to the other side. So we're going to add 3 to both sides. And y is going to equal 3x plus 18. Let's go on to problem number 3. Here they want us to do the same thing. So I'm going to write over here. I'm going to do it on this side. Y minus our y coordinate equals our slope m times x minus our x coordinate. So let's pick a point. I'm going to pick this point right here. And it is 2, 2. So x goes in for our x here. Y goes in for the y here. And let's find our slope. We have a rise of 1 and a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is going to be 1/5. So we end up with y minus 2 equals 1/5 x minus 2. So this would be after our distributive property, we get y minus 2 equals 1/5 times x, and then 1/5 times -2 would be a negative. We could make that a 2 over 1, right? A -2/5. Now we have to add 2 to both sides, right? So this is y is going to equal a 1/5 x, and 2 with 10 in the denominator, with 5 in the denominator, is going to be 10 over 5. So -2 plus 10 is going to be 8/5. Number 4 we're going to not do. Don't worry about number 4. Number 5. Okay, write the equation that goes through this. Well, looking at, remember, y minus our y coordinate equals our slope times x minus our x coordinate. So we're going to have y minus, here's our y coordinate, 8, equals our slope of 6 times our x-coordinate, right? X minus a negative 10. X minus a negative 10 is the same as x plus 10. So I'm going to put y minus 8 equals 6 times x plus 10. Right? So I'm going to come over here on a separate piece of paper to change this to slope-intercept form. We have y minus 8 equals 6x plus 10. We have to do our distributive property. Y minus 8 equals 6x plus 60, right? 6 times 10 is 60. We got to add 8 to both sides. And y equals 6x plus 68. Number 6. Let's write this one. Let's use this template again. So we're going to have y minus our y coordinate, which is 15, equals our slope, which is negative 2, times x minus our x coordinate, which is 12. So let's come to a separate piece of paper and change this to slope-intercept form. Let me do this right here. So y minus 15 equals negative 2 times x minus 12. Distributive property. So we have y minus 15 equals a negative 2x. Remember, a negative times a negative is a positive, plus 24. Now we have to add 15 to both sides. So y equals a negative 2x plus 39. Number 8 is a little tricky because they don't give us the slope. Uh-oh. They give us 2 points, and we know how to find the slope between 2 points. Delta y over delta x, right? So let's first find our slope. Slope. Change in our y over the change in our x. So what are our y's? 7 minus 1, right? And what are our x's? 3 and 1 over 3 minus 1. So that's going to equal 7 minus 1 is 6. 3 minus 1 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is actually 3. So m is going to be 3. So our slope is 3. So let's come back to our template here. We're going to have, oh, I'm sorry, I skipped 7. Well, let's do 8 and we'll go back to 7. So we're going to have y minus, let's use this one because it's simpler. Our y coordinate of 1 equals our slope of 3 times x minus our x coordinate, which is 1. So I'm going to come to a separate piece of paper to do this one. Y minus 1 equals 3x minus 1. Distributive property. Y minus 1 equals 3x minus 3. Now we got to add 1 to both sides. We get y equals 3x minus 2. And let's go back to 7, which I skipped over accidentally. Once again, let's choose the same template. y minus our y point is 1 equals our slope is -9 times x minus 1. We're going to solve this over here. Y minus 1 equals -9 times x minus 1. Distributive property. Negative times a negative is a positive. Now we have to add 1 to both sides. -9x plus 10. So this is going to be y equals -9x plus 10. Have a good day. Remember, you can always chat me, email me, call me through Teams if you have any questions.